Hey everybody, it's Clef from Punchboard Paradise, and I'm back with another 10 games in my top 101 board games of all time. Today we're going to be going through number 70 through 61. So we're starting to get kind of done with the top half of the top 100. Pretty soon we're going to be meandering into the old top 50. But right now, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get rolling. So my number 70, this is a new game also from last year, and it has really been climbing up the ranks every time I get to play it. And it's called, I'll just throw it right out here, so it's going to be called 2040, An American Insurgency. So this game has a lot of similarities to Twilight Struggle, which is a two-player card-driven game, in the same way with this. With this, though, it has, as the one faction, which is kind of the rebel faction, you have the government and the rebel faction, and the rebels have to roll a lot of dice. And when I first kind of was learning this game, I was like, wow, this just seems so random of how this is. But it actually really, really works in this game. And I've had some great fun playing this game, and still look forward to getting it back to the table some more. If you like Twilight Struggle, give this one a try, because you'll actually be pretty darn surprised. It's from Compass Games, and like I said, it's called 2040, An American Insurgency. So that's my number 70. My number 69. I'm talking about just new games just popping up. And so maybe I will be accused of that I'm a person of the new affair, which is true. But hey, if I like a game and I don't like another game that I used to like, that's just part of who I am, and I just move forward. So another new game, but this one, and in fact, if you watch any of my YouTube channels, videos, you'll notice that I did a little review of this game, because I really like it. So my number 69 is Bacon. Yep, it's Bacon. So great little game, little card shedding game. The whole point of the game is to get rid of your hand. But where this game really shines is it does play teams when you play it at 4 or 6 players. And the cool thing is when you kind of win a trick, sort of say, where you get to be the one who clears and start again, you can actually choose one of your teammates to start. And and if you go out first, your team kind of is eligible to score. But it just kind of depends on how your teammates go out in what order. So the other team is kind of on defense. Great little game. Like I said, if you want a little bit more about it, go to my review on it, and it's called Bacon. Yeah, from All Play Games. I believe Sean Ross is the designer. Really great game. Number 69, Bacon. All right, my number 68 is going to be an older game that kind of got a reprint here recently, and it's by one of my favorite designers, and we'll definitely have some of his games upcoming, including he does some maps for a game that I really like that's upcoming. But this one right here in number 68 is going to be Small City, and this is the deluxe edition, so brand new that just came out. This game is a brain burner. Wow, it is okay, if I do this, to get into here, then I can make these materials, so the next time I can do this. Well, a lot of planning goes into this game, and you're just trying to build the best kind of city. And then with those, how you're doing that, you're going to get more resources and stuff, and then that's how you're going to be able to start to gain like citizens into your kind of town, which then makes you victory points. Like I said, super thinky game. A lot of people, when they first learn the rules, they're just like, what? Has just crunchiness to it. But I still really enjoy this one and look forward to more plays of it. And so that's going to be my number 68, Small City. Okay, now my number 67 is a new game to me from last year, but this is not a new game. It's a very old game, and had a great pleasure of getting to go to a con down in Kansas City last year called Dome Con, run by a couple of guys, good dads on a map, James and Sanchez, great guys. Really enjoyed getting to go to this con, and they kind of turned me on, had a few of their guys show me this game, and boy, I'm glad they did, because I've really enjoyed it. And that's my number 67, The Bridges of Shangrala. So the funny thing is I had heard about this game way back when, like when I was really kind of just more of a Euro gamer type of person. And I just thought of this game as like, I don't know, some sort of a super duper heavy war game for some reason. I don't know why. But believe me, it is not a super duper heavy war game. It's kind of a weird game to describe. You basically are just trying to get more of your pieces, your little tokens, out on the board, and then there's a way for your opponents to come and try to kind of kick them off the board and take theirs. But every time you go over a bridge, it destroys that bridge, so then you don't have any way to then go back and attack that same way. But spots have multiple ways to get into the bridges. But as you go along, the game will kind of go on a kind of a timer on when these bridges are all gone, and certain number once they're all gone, then that's how the game ends. Really cool, really neat, just gameplay, and I'm really looking forward to more plays of this one. So this is my number 67, The Bridges of Shangrala. All right, so my number 66, I don't own the actual game of this. Now, it's not a terribly hard game to kind of proxy if you have certain decks, and for those of you who played a lot of games with me, you can make a lot of games out of a Stickum deck because they have so many different, the numbers, and then they have the different colors and stuff. And so luckily with that and just a whole bunch of dice, you can see the dice, okay, you can make a game called Nkusu Dice, which is a trick-taking game, which is a blast and a lot of fun. Also got taught this at DomeCon. Scott Bird taught me this game, and I just thank him so much because I love this. It is basically you are trying to take tricks, but you're also not only are you using cards in your hand, but you're using different colored dice that represent cards, but those are visible to everybody. So everybody knows, oh, he's got a red 5, or he's got a blue 4. You know those there. But the coolest part is when you are using these dice, eventually you're going to get left with one die. And whatever that die is, let's say it has a 3 on it, that's how many tricks you want to have at the end of the round, because that's what you're going for, is you're trying to hit that number of tricks. So you kind of sometimes want to try to hedge your bets. I want to keep a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Let's see how the game's going. Oh, crap, I just lost my 4. Now I definitely want to stay at 2 or 3. And then you get more points, obviously, if you hit your bid compared to if you didn't, and how many people hit their bid. Fantastic game. Absolutely love it. And I look forward to playing more of this game. I got to get a copy of my own because, come on, it's on my top 100. I got to have a copy of my own. So that was number 66, Nkusu Dice. Now, my number 65, this game I have played a ton of. And I played a ton of it back in the day. And always had a blast. And everybody I've always taught this to has had a blast playing it. And that is going to be a party game, Crosstalk. Now, this game is unique in the fact where a lot of times when you're playing a party game, or like if you think about code names, I'm giving a clue to my teammate, to my person I'm trying to work together with. Okay, I'm going to say, airplane 3 or whatever the case is. Okay. Well, Crosstalk is kind of the opposite, where you are giving a clue, but the other team gets to guess on your clue, and then vice versa. The other team gives a clue, and my team gets to guess on that clue. So you can't be sometimes too specific because you're just going to give it away to the other team, but yet you want to get your team understanding what you're trying to say, so then hopefully when the other team gives a clue, they get it. Fantastic, fun game, and it's actually got another game that is very similar in how it is, and this is called Phantom Ink, and this is a newer one right here. A couple of good friends of mine, Nate and Melissa Fort, they kind of showed me this game, and I was like, wow, this is a cool kind of take on Crosstalk. Same type of thing, you're giving clues to your teammate, but in this one, you don't write out the whole word. You kind of start to spell the word, and as soon as they figure out, they know, oh, I know what word that is, they kind of tell you stop. Silencio is what they say in the game. So if you like Crosstalk and you've never tried Phantom Ink, heck yeah, give it a shot, or vice versa. Both excellent, good, fun party games. So number 65, Crosstalk. So my number 64. Should have made this my 60th, right? No. Anyways, my number 64, another 2-player game. This one's from GMT. You can see a lot of GMT on my list. I love some of these kind of games like this. But this one here is called 1960 Making of a President. So what is this all about? Well, this is another kind of a card-driven game. Some has some aspects of Twilight Struggle where you're playing cards and you got action points and different things. But this is all about, you've got a big map of the United States, and with that map, you have different votes in different states. So like, for instance, New York might have 30 votes, and Nevada only has, 10 or whatever. Wyoming only has 5. So certain areas are more important for you to try to go after because you're just trying to get enough electoral votes to get to win the presidency, and that's what this one's all about. So if you, like I said, once again, if you are a big fan of GMT and card-driven games and Twilight Struggle, and you've never tried this one, I definitely recommend it. But I really enjoy it, and that one's going to be my number 64. Should have been my 60th. 1960, Making of a President. All right, so number 63. This is a classic, and this is probably, I'm going to tell you, this is definitely my favorite Uwe Rosenberg game. And I know it's simple and easy, but boy, Patchwork. It's just a great game. And for any of you out there that, well, it's such a light game, I like heavier games. No, this game has got great strategy. It's got great thought process. And you can play this game in, 10 to 15 minutes. Excellent, excellent game. My wife and I played this game a ton when we first got it. It's even got a decent, app if you're one of those people you like to play apps. It's got a really good app where it actually has different levels of how the computer will play against you. But really in this game, you're just picking up tiles. Some of those tiles have buttons on them. Some of them don't. They have a cost, which you pay in buttons, and you put them onto your quilt, and you're trying to fill your board up as much as possible. And that's really what it's all about. It's got the unique mechanic where if you are behind on this track when you're paying for these tiles, you get to go. So if you're like, you could sometimes take 2, 3, 4 turns in a row if somebody really jumped up really far, your opponent did. And just a great mechanic, great game. So my number 63 is Patchwork. All right, my number 62. Now this is definitely where I'm going to give I'm going to give you my game here, but I'm going to tell you, I kind of lump a lot of games together in this kind of feel, even since, some of them definitely have different ways they play, 100%, but they kind of give me the same feel when I'm playing them in this particular one here. But I'm going to give you my number 1 of all this, and that's going to be Julius Caesar. And then it's down here because there's a lot of Julius Caesar games out there. This one's Caesar, Pompey, and the Roman Civil War, 49 to 45 BC. This is a block war game. So those of you familiar with block war games, you probably know this one. If you're not familiar with block war games, it's a 2-player game. I have blocks on my side, and then my opponent will have blocks facing me, and they have blocks facing them. And they'll have different types of blocks, and they'll have different you'll have different strengths on these blocks that then when you go into a battle, they will get knocked down. So, I hit you there. You had a 3 strength, now it goes down to a 2 strength. Oh, hit again, now it's going down to a 1 strength. Oh, hit again, now it's dead. And the game is honestly, you're trying to hit different victory point spots and just try to have the most victory points, but it's just kind of with this block war game. And also this one is card driven, so you play a card and that allows you to do either some movement or it could let you do some mustering, different things like that. And then, come on, I got to show you. I did go all crazy with this one because it had this beautiful, beautiful neoprene map. Whoa, you can't see me anymore, but I'm here. So look at that, how beautiful that is. It's a lot of fun to play on. So that, my number 62, Julius Caesar. So my last game is another one of those games that is an older game. And I got introduced to this game back when I was first kind of starting the game and fell in love with it. We used to play it all the time. It probably doesn't hit the table as much as it used to, but that doesn't give it any less of what kind of great game it is. And this is by Richard Breeze. So, you know, obviously a pretty famous designer. And this one here is called Aladdin's Dragons. Now, maybe a lot of you have never even heard of this game because, like I said, I mean, this is an old one. I think this came out like in probably 2000, you know, somewhere around there. So it's a very old game compared to what we got today. And a lot of people be like, oh gosh, art not the greatest, components maybe not the greatest, but honestly, it doesn't matter. This has a really cool gameplay, and I always give games a little bit of a notch when, let's be honest, most games, it's most victory points wins, right? That's just how it is. And I mean, it's a simple thing to do, and it's very common and knowledgeable. And I like games sometimes that have a little bit different of, it's not just victory points. In Aladdin's Dragons, that's the case. You are trying to gain these tiles, and I can't remember exactly what these magic tile things, artifacts, that's what they are. You're trying to gain these artifacts. And honestly, at the end of the game, who has the most artifacts is the winner. But the artifacts are kind of guarded by these palace guards, and so you have to be able to get in there, and then they cost gems or rubies and stuff that you have to pay. And so where do you have to go get these gems and rubies? Well, sometimes in the town you can get some, but really you got to go down to this dragon cave and go down there and get the, but the cool part of this game is you put these little discs down and they have numbers on them, but you put them face down so nobody knows which number goes where. And then it's whoever has the highest total number in an area, they get to like pick first of what they want out of that area. Then the next person gets to pick. So you might put like a couple of your really good numbers in an area, and then a couple other people put their even better numbers, and you could get nothing, which is just such a cool aspect to it. So anyways, that is my number 61, Aladdin's Dragons. Okay, so we have come to another end of another 10 of my top favorite board games of all time. Remember, if you have any questions or any comments, please go ahead and throw them on in the comment section. I would love to answer or talk or, you know, any questions whatsoever. Also, please, if you would, it'd be really helpful if you could start and hit that beautiful like and that beautiful subscribe. Just helps help more people maybe get to see this. And if you enjoy it, obviously we'd like to see more people see it. Remember, if you've never listened to my podcast, Punchboard Paradise, you can go and find that on any of the podcast apps. Check us out there. You can also go to our website, punchboardparadise.com, or you can email us at punchboardparadise@gmail.com. All right, everybody. Until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.